So, the Hardy Boys are done with TNA, and I'm a little bit sad about that because I very much enjoyed their antics over the last year or so, but I'm not here to pick holes or say what's right or say what's wrong as long as everybody involved is really happy. And that's right, I'm promoting happiness. But this does mean there's a big chance that Matt and Jeff are coming back to the WWE, and that poses the question of what WWE would make of the whole broken gimmick. I mean, there's every chance they wouldn't know what to do with it at all. Why? Here's why. Before we start, a few caveats as always. Number one, always look both ways before crossing the road. Number two, don't feed your pet Gizmo after midnight. And number three, a T-Rex can't see you if you don't move. Well, that's what they said in Jurassic Park anyway, but that could be bollocks. On a more relevant level, I'm sure there would be plans abound about what to do with Matt Hardy within the confines of the world that is the WWE. That's not what I'm getting at here. The issue, as ever, is what's possible and what's not possible when you re-enter the universe created by Vince McMahon. Or Vince McMahon. I can't do it, you know what he does, it's funny. A huge reason Broken Matt Hardy was a success was because of Matt Hardy. Obviously, without Matt Hardy, there would have been no Broken Matt Hardy, and therefore, Matt Hardy deserves a large portion of the credit. Matt Hardy. Because TNA kinda just let him get on with it, it meant there were no barriers, no red tape, no one to say, wait a second bro, I don't think you should do that. So if he wanted to go and get on with it, he was allowed to just go and get on with it, even if that impacted, no pun intended, somebody else. His ideas were so good and enjoyed so much by the audience, all of a sudden the power was in his hand, and he deserved that power because he created a movement in wrestling. It doesn't happen all that often. I mean, people try, but they fail. Broken Matt didn't fail. This had fans at WWE shows, Ring of Honor shows, and shows all over the world chanting delete as if somebody was about to check their browser history. Didn't want anyone seeing those websites now, did you? I know what you've been up to. When this kind of thing happens, you have to stop and you have to run with it, because if you don't, you may be missing out on a massive chunk of success. But that said, that's not always how things go down within the WWE. Now, this isn't a knock on how the company does things. I sometimes think it's a bit stupid to do that, because they're now this global, huge brand that everyone's aware of. So if I, some numpty in a studio, sit here and go, well, I don't agree with that, I look a bit like a dick. That doesn't mean you can't criticize it, doesn't mean you can't pick holes, but by and large, they've done a pretty good job. This level of success, however, does have implications elsewhere. And one of those is how exactly you could treat a character like Broken Matt Hardy on television. For one, I very much doubt we're going to get the Jeremy Borash assisted videos that have become so synonymous with the idea. We could get something similar, much like the WWE did with the Wyatts last year, but when it's not the same, fans just go, well, I don't like it as much. It's not the same. That's just human nature. It's like when your favourite chocolate bar changes the ingredients. You eat it and you go, well, it's alright, but it's just not the same. On top of that, you gotta find a way to introduce the character that doesn't knock anybody else off their perch. I mean, in my world, he comes in, he wins the world title, and he has that for 57 years. How entertaining would it be to tune in every week to see what he's gonna do? The answer, if you're looking for it, is super entertaining. That means it's going to be really entertaining. But that's not going to go down well with everyone, especially the bigger stars. When you get somewhere that's as big as the WWE, you've got to find that balance. You've got to be able to fit in without pushing too many buttons. Maybe that's why we never saw Bully Ray and we just got Bubba Ray Dudley instead. Something just didn't work. Then, of course, there's the creative team. It's quite well known that in TNA, Matt Hardy was responsible for his own creative. And if you think WWE is going to give Matt Hardy his own creative, you're crazy. I mean, it could happen. There's always a chance. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If it happens with Matt Hardy, then John Cena's going to want to hand his own creative. And, I don't know, James Ellsworth. Maybe James Ellsworth goes, hey, I want to say in my own creative. Then Vince McMahon goes, shut up, James Ellsworth. Then I realise I've gone off on a massive tangent and we come back round to what we're supposed to be talking about. That concept isn't necessarily the end of the world, but it does hint at the idea that you're probably not going to get the Broken Matt Hardy that you used to. It will still be fun, and it will still be entertaining, and you'll still look forward to seeing it, but ultimately, when there are too many cooks in the kitchen, the food at the end of it just doesn't taste as sweet. You also run the risk of it being a bit hokey. Now don't get me wrong, Matt Hardy could be very hokey on occasion, but he also went around and ate people's faces so he could feast on their blood. Just go and ask Jack the Jobber. That dude had flesh ripped off his face because of Matt's teeth. And yeah, I know wrestling is a work, but take it in context. Human being 1, human being 2, human being 1 goes, I'm gonna nibble on your face. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're gonna see that in a PG environment. I truly believe that Matt Hardy will be an absolute riot wherever he goes. Even if that is to WWE and then WWE decides we're going to kind of Santino Marella the gimmick. Make it more family friendly and make it more accessible. But Santino Marella was amazing and Matt Hardy is so talented, I'm pretty sure you could give him any parameters and he'd make it work. That's what you do when you're a superstar. Someone gives you lemons and you make lemonade. And lemonade is delicious. But there is every chance WWE just doesn't know how to replicate that magic. I mean, look at Goldberg in his first run 10 years ago, or more recently, Sting. Sting never really came across as Sting should have come across. Maybe Matt and Jeff come back as the Hardy Boys with the Z. I mean, it happened to the Dudley Boys with the Z. Did they have a Z? No idea. The point being, maybe WWE just wants a nostalgic run with them. And this is the end for broken Matt Hardy. That would be the worst thing that's happened in the history of man, but I don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what they're going to do. Right now, they probably don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know why we're whispering. No one else is here. And I love the Hardys, but they've evolved and changed so much over the years that going back to that would just make me sad. Like a dog that's been abandoned by its owner. That wasn't relevant at all. I don't know why I said that, but you gotta admit, the thought of a sad little puppy in the corner of a room without an owner is pretty sad. As would be the case if Matt and Jeff came back as the Hardy Boys. My delivery's gone strange. Let's move forward. Regardless, it's still a very exciting time for both Matt and Jeff Hardy, and I wish them luck wherever they end up, and I hope they know I will be watching. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this, and then like, share, and subscribe, and you can even come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. Now I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and thank you for joining me again for a lovely entry in the Why series. I will see you when I see you. And of course, when I do see you, it'll be me staring down the lens, you staring at your computer into the screen, because this is YouTube. That's just the world we live in these days. That's the world we live in. It's a crazy, crazy place.